Ole shows a sign of weakness, Inter ready to snap up Sanchez, Dembele's attitude strikes again, time's running out for Icardi, and we have a transfer roundup all coming up in the next few minutes, as I'm your host Matt Froelich, you are the Onefootballers, and this is the Daily News. First off, and to Manchester United's 1-1 draw with Wolves last night, where pundits after the game suggested that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer showed real weaknesses in his management. This is because that he didn't decide whether Paul Pogba or Marcus Rashford should be taking the penalties. Basically, Paul Pogba stepped up after Marcus Rashford put one away last week and missed the penalty against Wolves, costing them the chance to bring home all 3 points. After the game, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was quizzed about who was the penalty taker, he said that both of them are the designated penalty takers and it's up to them on the pitch whether who is feeling it or not. So obviously, everyone just jumped on Paul Pogba's back and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's back after he missed, but to me, this is absolutely ridiculous. He's a football player. Sometimes they score penalties, sometimes they miss them. To talk about hindsight, oh, he should have made a decision, they should have done this and that, Rashford scored last week, absolute rubbish. If Paul Pogba had banged that into the top corner, everyone would have spoken about how a fantastic game he had, because the rest of his game was actually pretty good, and how he really stepped up for Manchester United when they needed him the most. This is utter nonsense, as basically it's just everyone jumping on Paul Pogba's back for no apparent reason. You don't see any people talking about Marcus Rashford's free kick, which is about 40 yards out, way over to the left-hand side of the pitch, and he decided to try and smash it into the goal when really it just p-rolled out for a goal kick. Maybe Paul Pogba should have taken that free kick instead. Absolutely ridiculous, and in all cases, given Wolves' record against the top 6 last season, going to Molineux and getting a point is a pretty good result. But talking of Manchester United, the one player could finally be on his way out of Old Trafford, and that is Alexis Sanchez. With all the young, new, exciting signings, it's probably good to get rid of some of those older legs who are costing a hell of a lot of money. Reports are stating that Inter Milan are close to agreeing a loan deal with Manchester United for Sanchez, which could see an option to buy for around 15 million next summer. Now, for both teams, this looks like quite a good deal, but I think we're going to be facing the same issue next summer. First off, Manchester United are getting rid of Sanchez. That's quite good. They're going to pay a part of his wage, but they're getting him, or the majority of him, off the wage bill. As for Inter Milan, they're getting a pretty decent player, and Antonio Conte obviously thinks that he can turn Sanchez's career around. But with this 15 million option for next summer, I highly doubt they're going to activate it if it means that they're going to be the ones who are going to have to pay 400k a week for Sanchez. Anyway, what Antonio Conte seems to be doing is taking players who are down on their luck like Lukaku and Sanchez and maybe turning them around. If he manages to make those two, after what they did at Manchester United, into two of the best players in Europe, he will be the greatest magician ever, never mind a football manager. But moving on again, and this time to Ousmane Dembele, who consistently seems to put all of his hard work in, but then let himself down due to his stinking attitude. He wasn't exactly at his greatest on Friday night. Without Suarez and Messi, Barcelona needed a little bit of magic up front alongside Antoine Griezmann. Ousmane Dembele definitely did not provide this, and it turns out that he was due in Saturday morning for tests on his leg to see whether or not he had an injury. As it turns out, he does have an injury and could be out for up to 5 weeks, but he didn't even turn up for the test on Saturday morning. He said nothing to any Barcelona officials and came back into headquarters for the injury test on Monday morning, 2 days later. Everyone was like, what on earth are you doing? On this channel, we have so many debates, especially you guys in the comment section, backing up Ousmane Dembele's talent. Don't get me wrong, I think he's a fantastic player, but we've seen it all too many times. If your attitude stinks and you can't be bothered, your career is not really going to go anywhere. I don't understand how a 22-year-old who's got all the ability at Barcelona can't pull his finger out to just get up on a Saturday morning to go to some injury tests. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, aside from Dembele, another player who's got a bit of an attitude problem, and it's Mauro Icardi. The former Inter Milan captain was stripped of that captaincy and now has been told by Antonio Conte that he doesn't have a future at the club, so he's looking to get away. But one place that he won't be going is Monaco. His wife and agent Wanda Nara has admitted they won't be heading to the south of France to Monaco, and this means there's only a few days left for Mauro Icardi to secure that move away from the club. The latest reports are that all the big names are still interested, like Bayern Munich and PSG, but having seen them do pretty good transfer business over the last few weeks, I can't really see them going in for a player who could potentially disrupt the dressing room, especially after the season has started. Icardi's going to cost a lot of money, and in all honesty, I can see him going somewhere on a loan deal with an option to buy next summer, just so a potential club can get a look at him first. So lastly but not least, we'll come to a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer rumours and news, where Christian Eriksen has said that if he leaves Spurs, it'll be for one of 3 clubs: Real Madrid, Barcelona or Juventus. Well, duh. Next up, Michel Vorm, who's been released from Spurs over the summer, could be joining Liverpool on a free transfer after their other free transfer agent didn't exactly have the greatest weekend. Elsewhere in Arsenal could be letting Shkodran Mustafi leave the club on loan to Roma with an option to buy at the end of next season. And lastly but not least, former Arsenal man Stefan Lichtsteiner has joined Augsburg on a free transfer. So there you have all of today's daily news. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Smash the like button whilst you're there and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on OneFootball. But until next time, I will see you guys later.